What's up, guys? It's Kictor, and welcome to an incredible live. I have so many fun things to share with you today. I need to go grab something though. I'm back. No one will ever guess. No one will ever guess. Leaving already? Being called out already? What's up, Jessica and Emma and Xavian and Quinn and Sugarkiss and Leandra and Shayla and Long Lost Time Lady and Kenzie? Kenzie, how are you and Briarbox doing? Minerva has been a supreme for a whole year. Oh my god, thank you so much, Minerva. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. It's officially been a year. I honestly can't believe it. I'm so glad to have been part of this community for a year and hope to enjoy another wonderful year as a Kickflip and Danmei fan. Oh, that is so sweet of you. That is the best thing I could ever want to hear. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you've enjoyed it in the community, and we love having you here too. Quinn, thank you for your donation. Says, is that a kiss mark on your cheek? I don't know, is someone in the house wearing lipstick? I said, is someone in the house wearing lipstick?
Sorry, what was that?
I don't know, is this a kiss mark on my...
So you can put one right on your forehead.
No!
Or one on the other cheek so you can blend it in as blush.
No, it's so perfect. Who has better cheeks, better cheeks and better lips than...
The best cheeks.
Thank you.
And the best cheeks.
Get out of here. Everyone's saying you're so pretty. Okay, on that note, listen. I bought a suit today for our wedding. It's happening, it's real, it's really happening. I know, it's crazy. Yeah, it was so much fun. It took an hour and a half to get all the measurements done. It was so much fun though. And oh my god, I was so glad that Stitch was there because I was asked so many questions. So many questions. It was awesome. The fact that you can customize a suit so much. I'm like, this has to be a fandom. Like, the suit fandom. I know it exists. But I could see myself, like, imagine, like, being so into suits and getting them all customized just perfectly where there's little things like how you want the shoulder. Do you want the shoulder to go or do you want the shoulder to go or and then with the collar and then the buttons and then how it lays and just, oh my god, it was crazy. It was crazy. We do have a date. We're getting married in March, before my birthday. Kenzie says trying on wedding stuff is so much fun. There's so much that goes into it. Yes, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's called Wall Street. They are the suit fandom. That's so funny. Yeah, literally. I know. It was so much fun. Pabani says, hello, Kictor. This is the first stream I'm catching live. So good to see you live. Just want to say hello and thanks to you and Stitch for your videos. Love you guys. Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much for such a nice message. I'm so glad you enjoy them. I feel like coming into the stream, I had like 3 fun things I wanted to say. So like, we're getting married in March. Got the suit today. I also found the perfect, because like, okay, I think what I like to wear with my earrings, it's kind of like a Sanlon thing. I like to have one dangly one and then one stud. And so I went to Swarovski, because it's like crystals, they're not like actual diamonds. Actual diamonds are so expensive. It just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It's crazy. Anyways, I got these really nice, it's a dangly crystal earring, so it's like kind of a bit fancier than I'd normally wear like every day, because this is like an anime sparkle. Somebody said this looked like a cross, and I'm like, it's my cross. But it's like a crystal, sparkly crystal earring with a little, it kind of looks like a teardrop. Little teardrop design. And I love it. It's so perfect. And then I'll just wear like a crystal stud on this side. And I think it'll look so cool. It will look so cool. And people are asking what Stitch is wearing. Stitch, basically picture Howl from Howl's Moving Castle in like a big flowy blouse, and then also with like a cape. Like instead of like the veil, it's kind of like a cape kind of thing. Yeah. Kenzie says, Briarbox and I are doing well. I had a pre-work thing today, and me and Briarbox, oh, you both work at the same hospital. Oh, cool. So I got to have lunch with them. Oh, that's so sweet. That's incredible. Oh my goodness. Jessica says Stitch being absolutely iconic as usual. Yes, right? Ellery Bell has sent a membership. Thank you, Ellery. How's it going? You still loving Hushwen as much as I do? Oh yeah, I have a new TikTok React video coming out, and so many of the videos on it were Beef Leaf that I actually had to cut some out because I was like, this has become a Beef Leaf React video, not a TGCF video. Kenzie says, telling Briarbox the news about the wedding. We'll be so excited. Oh, yes. Yes, we're so excited. Yeah, I know we've been keeping like it secret until we got everything locked down, but yeah, it's so excited. Leandra says, look into lab-grown gems. Yes, yes, exactly. Stitch, I have our wedding band that we wear, and I also have like a little engagement ring that's like moissanite, so it's like another crystal thing that's not like a blood diamond. Quinn says, we want the Beef Leaf. The all too well 10-minute version. Yeah, literally. Oh my gosh. Okay. I know this is like a public live stream, but I have to say this, and this is just crazy. It's so funny. So there's this website. I won't say what site it is, but it's like for creators to get sponsorships, and I will get a request from them like once in a blue moon, and I've done maybe 3 from them, and they pay well, and it's like all you have to do is make a TikTok with a certain TikTok audio. So it's usually musicians paying creators to like use their song to help boost their songs or whatever. I got a request for one, and all of the ones I've gotten have been like make an anime edit to a song. And I was like, I used to love making AMVs and stuff. Like I don't post them all the time, but why not? It's so easy to do for Hualien, and I love it. Like, so I'll do it. So it was like the sad piano song. So I was like, okay, I remember that scene where Wangxian and Hua Cheng makes the blood rain fall on him, and I was like, this is perfect for that scene. So I submit it. I also read the deadline submission date wrong, and it was supposed to be it's like I had until midnight, but it was actually like Eastern midnight, so I had to make it in like 20 minutes. So I did it. I got it. I submit it. And then I read the project details. There was like a section that I didn't see, and it was like anime and cosplay creators can do one of 2 directions for this, and it was make a Naruto edit or make a Naruto cosplay. They specifically wanted Naruto, and it was actually a song from Naruto. It was like a piano rendition from Naruto's soundtrack. So I was like, oh my god, I fully fucking submitted this Heaven Official's Blessing edit. and then you know what I thought? I was just thinking, you know what? What if they watch them just fucking accept it? Like, who knows, whatever intern they have working is just gonna say like, yep, that's anime, it's probably Naruto. Right? And it got accepted. So Hua Cheng, Wangxian, and Shailian are actually all characters in Naruto now, as far as everyone is concerned. Yep, I can't believe it. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. It worked. Oh my gosh. Yes, Wizard of Moss. I know Yi is on a Narusasu kick right now. I literally thought of him as well after I saw the submission. Why would they request a Danmei channel to do Naruto? Because when I signed up for the website, it was like, what type of content do you make? And I selected, like, anime. So I think I just get any kind of anime prompts. Kenzie says, you two have been making hints about the wedding, I've noticed. Wee, you ain't slick, but that means we can both celebrate our recent weddings at SAC. Yeah, absolutely! Oh yeah, also, in not so fun news, we canceled our trip to Portland, because we're not going to KomoriCon anymore, unfortunately. But that does mean that Stitch and I will get to hand out candy to little trick-or-treaters for the first time ever, because we both used to live in houses in the middle of nowhere, and then we lived in like a apartment complex, so we've never handed out trick-or-treat candy to kids, so I'm excited to do that instead. And oh, Neko says, if you'd like some historical context on the bite scene, if we get there, ask me, I can give you the secret details. Ooh, is it like biting someone is extra gay or something like that? I'm very excited. I am very excited. Kate says, I'll be the one taking my kid trick-or-treating. Oh, that's so sweet. I took Stitch trick-or-treating for her first time last year. Are you gonna dress up? Yes, I am going to be Luigi from Luigi's Mansion, specifically. And I am going to be, I'm going to make the backpack vacuum Poltergeist 3000. Stitch, my life and love, has been a member for 52 months. Oh my god, Stitch. Thank you so much. Wow. We will be a full-sized candy bar household. Yes, that's what we decided, because we're not gonna be able to be out for super long. We're gonna definitely make it so we have full-size candy bars. Stitch is going to be the one. What is it? The lowly worm? The worm from the book with the worm and the apple? What is it called? I don't think we will do a game night on that night, because 7 o'clock is like prime trick-or-treating hours. But we'll do a special Halloween themed one probably on the Thursday beforehand. The Richard Scary Worm. James? She said it multiple times. I can't remember what it is. But if it's literally a worm with a little green hat, because the joke is we're both wearing green hats. It is lowly worm. I said it right. Oh my god. I was like, it can't be lowly. That's too much of an insult. CSL, thank you for the donation and the recap. Flashback. Off to Wen school. Swords taken. Cloud recesses has been burned. Lan Wangji's broken leg. Wen Chao leads worst field trip ever. Wei Wuxian saves Mian Mian from Brand. Trapped in cave with killer turtle. Yes. And, everybody, to be extra fun, I bought some turtles for us to devour. I thought when we get to the turtle fighting battle, I could fight my own turtles. Yes, it was buy a suit, buy earrings, buy turtles. He speaks to my soul, says Stitch, the lowly worm. That's so funny. Why did I think you meant real turtles? You know, when I was a kid, I always thought turtles were really cool. I had to do a class presentation on box turtles, and I learned a lot about them, and I thought they were very neat. I feel like there's not a lot of turtles around here, though. When I would go to Montana and visit Stitch, there's fucking turtles everywhere. And in Seattle, there's a lot of turtles. Maybe I'm just not looking at a lot of turtle-y places here. Wizard of Moss has a turtle! Wait, tell us more about your turtle! I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one year for Halloween. I was indeed. The Wizard of Moss says, so glad we're included in your life's to-do list like that. Hey, every single morning, Stitch and I, we have a little whiteboard, and we write down what we're doing today, and you guys are always on the board. There are turtles in Seattle. There is! Yes, there's like a really nice nature park thing. It's a rose garden, I think? Shit ton of turtles there. Green Halloween in honor of Chi-Rong. Yeah, yes. Genesis Soto says, I love being on the board. You're on the board. Every morning. Have you seen the rabbit and turtle dance? Yeah, yes, I have seen that. That's so cute. Night Owl says, I saw a turtle crossing the road. Oh my goodness. I remember being taught that as a kid. If you see a turtle crossing the road, that you can if it's a giant turtle, you can like pick it up by the tail or something, but or pick it up, but don't bring it where it's going. Don't put it back. It will continue to cross the road again. Not turtle enough for the turtle club? Wizard of Moss says, my turtle's name is Tiny. We got him when he was the size of a quarter years ago, and now he's the size of my entire hand. Oh, that's so cute. Ooh, Emma has snapping turtles. That's scary. That is scary. Royal Darkness, you are on the membership because your name shows up as green and you have the little emoji next to your name. Kenzie says, I love being on the board and being not only in the Kenzie corner of the Kichter household, but being present in the home. You're present in the home, you're in the walls, you're in the Kenzie corner, and in the Briar box. You are an omnipresent presence. Emmy says, what should I do for Halloween? It has to be kind of fruity. I mean, a go-to is Wei Wuxian. It is his birthday after all. Orion says Kenzie is everywhere. Okay, Santa says, don't grab them by the tail. Grab them by the base of the back of the shell and help him walk across the road. Good thing I've never picked up any turtles. Apple Dash, you're on the board. Everybody's on the board. Actually, I drew Zerg on the board today. Sometimes I doodle. Sometimes I doodle on the board. Let me see. I took a picture of it, actually. Look at that. Coffee, shower, Metro Town, buy turtles, stream at 5, film Fujo Fall missing segments, make grocery list for health, and then I drew Zerg. Oh, Leo eating hella good nachos. Oh my god, last night I was craving nachos so bad. I melted cheese on toast and put some olives on it. And hot sauce. It was really good. But, oh man, I need to buy fucking nacho chips. Where did the idea to draw Zerg come from? Actually, it was because there's a template on Instagram right now going around, and it's like the ABCs of characters you've cosplayed. And when I was a little kid, I did cosplay as Zerg. So that was my Zed. So we were thinking of Zerg. Quinn Silva is being Bob Ross for Halloween. Very nice. Hey, well, you're quite the painter, so it makes sense. Kate says the art is in your DM. Okay, Kate just surprised me saying that she made more art for the streams. Let me see. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh my god, Kate. Okay. I will keep it a surprise. Oh my god. Oh, because Kate drew the last Jung Chung emoji that happens when someone donates, and she just drew another one for another surprise. That's so cute. I thank you so much, Kate. This is amazing. I can't believe you just whipped this up. Oh, it's really good. Oh my god. Thank you so much. Kate, you're the best. What's your phone cover? It looks like Hualien. It is Hualien! Yeah. Yeah. Any hints? Oh, it's Wangxian. It's Wangxian. It's good. Who here in the chat is going to do some sort of Danmei cosplay for Halloween? Even if it's not on Halloween. Miss Rosie says, I'll be doing modern Ariel at work. Oh, nice! I love Ariel! Since my boss picked Little Mermaid as the theme, it will probably be Wei Wuxian when passing out candy, since it will be his birthday. That's wonderful. Kate will be, oh, writing for Kinktober. Oh my goodness! Very nice. Or, drawing, not writing. Sugarkiss says, I'm not. Apple Dash says, I remember promising my mom we'd be Xiao for Halloween. Aww. 2 years ago, Stitch and I were Xiao for close to Halloween, I think. CSEL says, I have a pink Bing Pup shirt I was planning to wear. Does that count? Yes, absolutely! Bing Pup's first Halloween. Oh. Ooh, Not Prepared Cost says I'll be doing a dancer, Shalian. Yeah, that totally counts. Kenzie says, I can get the wife and I to be something Danmei related. It's funny because, like, if you're really into cosplaying, sometimes, like, not doing a full-on cosplay and just doing, like, a costume, you know, this is, like, the words that mean the same thing, but it's, like, a film and a movie, or a cosplay and a costume. It's like doing a low-effort costume can kind of be relaxing and fun, you know? If you're usually, like, your cosplays have to be perfect, it's like your Halloween costume can be kind of shitty. Apple Dash says, I do have a custom Jiggy shirt if that counts. Ooh, that's very cool. Emma is going to work on painted pumpkins. That's cool. Stitch and I bought a bunch of pumpkins. Our house is very decorated. This room is very purple. The rest of our house is very orange right now. And because Stitch was like, September is autumn, October is Halloween. So for September, we have all our autumnal stuff. And then for October, I'm allowed to bring out my son. And my son is this little skeleton guy with a little pumpkin on his head, and I love him so much, and he is my son, so he will be the centerpiece. And then we're going to draw or paint on the little decorative pumpkins we got, and then we always carve big pumpkins too. I love carving pumpkins. Also, tomorrow, Case File Volume 6 comes out. That's all I'm gonna be doing. I have an extremely packed day tomorrow. I will not have I will not have a single moment to read Case File tomorrow, actually, even though that's all I want to do. Tomorrow I'm meeting up with some of my groomsmen. We're going to drink sangria. Then we're going to go watch... I can't remember what the movie is. The new Paul Thomas Anderson movie in theaters. And then we're streaming. And then I have hockey. Maybe I can fall asleep to the first couple words of it. Okay, groomsmen, right? I know, I have my groomsmen. Super cute. Now that I have my suit, we need to get them in their suits. So, if I showed you guys the color of my suit, what color suit do you think the groomsmen's should be? So mine is... It is this color and pattern. It's extremely dark blue. It almost is black, but it is a little bit blue. You can see. And then it has these this checkered pattern on it. Should they be like dark blue, but like with no pattern on theirs? You know what I'm saying? The other, our wedding colors are purple and blue. Think Victor and Yuri's Stammy Vicino final outfits. This is kind of like our colors here, like these blues and purples. You could do a lighter or a brighter blue. Yeah, that's true. Jessica was thinking purple, right? Yeah. And then also, my question too is, I could do a black bow tie, which I think will look very sharp, but I could also do a purple bow tie and tie more into the color scheme. How much do you want to stand out from the groomsmen? I want to stand out from them for sure. Yeah, I don't want anybody mixing us up. I'm the bride. I am the bridegroom. Purple for the groomsmen so you stand out more. Yeah, that could work. The bridesmaids are wearing light blue. gonna do light blue dresses kind of thing. So many different options. It's so fun. Chung Chung bow tie. Stitch is white. Then who's going to be in purple? The flowers and the decor will be purple. I could have a purple bow tie as well. We don't have to combine every single color from the theme in our outfits exactly, because the bouquets are going to be purple and blue and stuff. Also, the flowers that we want to get, I can never remember the flowers. They're like Stitch's favorite flowers. I can never remember them. But there are purple and blue ones, and they are also very important in case file. But it's from a scene I have not read yet. And I'm like, Stitch, what if by the time it's our wedding, we know what the flowers in case file represent and we don't like them anymore? Hydrangeas, yes. Oh my god. Why can I never remember hydrangea? Help me come up with something to remember them. It's like when you see a flower, you say hi to it. Hydrangea. Hydration. Because you're so thirsty for flowers need to be watered. They need to be hydrated. They're hydrangeas. Okay. Tina used hydrangeas. Oh, nice. Jessica says, I like the purple bow tie. Do you know what undershirt you're thinking? Light blue for the groomsmen would be pretty. That's true, too. Also, I have seen this done, too, where, like, the groomsmen don't wear suit jackets. They just wear, the vest. Yeah, it's crazy. Our wedding planner is getting back to us later this week with all of the quotes and stuff for decor. So that's like the final piece, pretty much. We're excited to see what the different options are for like arches and stuff. Because we're getting married on the water if the weather permits. Because it is March and it is Vancouver. But that being said, it could rain in the summer too, you know? And the inside location is also very nice, but yeah, it should be nice underwater. Yes, we've decided on the food. We're gonna do a buffet. Did you pick a cake flavor in a reasonable time frame? That is later this week. That is Thursday, I think. Yes, Thursday is when they're gonna give us a bunch of cupcakes to try out our cake flavors. Oh, isn't it so exciting? Hydrangeas represent death of some kind because they're always in cemeteries. The death of our engagement and the welcoming of our marriage. Groomsmen in light blue undershirts to match the bridesmaids and dark blue vests to match your... Yeah. If they match the bridesmaids more, that could be cool. That could be cool. When you pick a cake, you can name it Cake Tour. Hell yeah. We also have a Bowser and Peach amiibos where they are like getting married that are our cake toppers. Are the dogs going to be involved? Okay, I know Mimikyu, I'm sure you meant to say involved, but it like autocorrect to evolved. Are the dogs gonna be evolved? No, I'm afraid our Shibas are fully evolved and they're still too dumb. The dogs are not invited. Unfortunately, our Shibas are very poorly trained. They do not come when they're called, so God forbid something happened and we're by the water, they would just not be safe for the dogs. Abby? Oh, Abby, what is the art of? Is it art you did or is it interior art? Thank you so much for your donation. Mario lore series enjoyer. I actually don't think I know what that is. No Bowiji. I did think Bowiji was funny. Bowser Peach is in our household though. Oh, Abby, what is the interior art for? Because I don't want to be spoiled for Case File. I'm very excited to see it tomorrow. Okay. We should get reading. We should get reading so that I can eat these frickin' turtles. Oh, they're individually wrapped. Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, Abby says it's not Case File. Okay, let's see what it is. From Dinghai Fusheng Records. Oh, you know, I don't even know what's going on in that book. Because Stitch only read the oh, from QJJ6. How did you get the QJJ6 art? That's crazy. Oh my god, do you guys want to see the spoiler? Apple Dash, I'm sorry to hear that. At the very least, it's good to know that you're getting it checked out so that if something is wrong, you can get it sorted out. Okay, let's look at this. That's beautiful. Damn! I was like, he's so tall. He is on the horse. Oh, I don't want to see the Arho ones. Thank you so much, Abby, for sending those. That was so fun. Dang, no ball shaving. Is it ball shaving? No ball shavings, guys. We need to make some freaking money this month, okay? Orion says, hasn't that horse suffered enough? Jessica says, thinking more about it now, I think keeping the clothes to white, blackish, dark blue, and blue would be cute, and leave purple as a nice pop for the flowers. Yeah, I think so. I think that would be good. And then if there is a pop of purple, it could be on me, maybe. But I also love, I like Photoshop all different options on myself. That's how I was testing out different things. I'd see if I can show you my different thoughts. See, I've been hard at work. You see? I go all out. I go all out. I want to visualize. Gotta figure it out. Okay. The head is way too big. My god. All right. Are we ready, fam? Part 2. The turtle is attacking. That sounded like a non sequitur, but Wei Wuxian immediately understood. Last thing Lan Wangji said is, there are maple leaves in the water. I have heard this phrase before. What does that mean? That sounded like a non sequitur. Does that mean like an unfinished sentence? That mean, what does that mean? What does that mean? Someone with literary skills in the chat. It sounds like it was unrelated. It sounds like it doesn't mean anything. Oh, okay. Sounds like he was just saying something random. Like, there's leaves in the water. Like, oh, we're talking about the evil turtle. Why are you bringing up the leaves? Great. I love learning in the chat. I went to film school, remember? There were maple leaves floating in the water of the Black Lake where the Yao beast was entrenched. But there were no maple trees inside or outside the cave, only banyan trees next to the cave's opening. There was also no trace of human activity, but the maple leaves in the water were fresh and vivid as fire, and when they were hiking up the mountain earlier, they had seen maple leaves carried by the current of a small stream. I noticed that. I did notice that. It was clicking for Zheng Cheng as well. It's like, oh, jump scare, Zheng Cheng's still here. There might be a tunnel at the bottom of the lake that's connected to an outside water source, which is how the maple leaves from the mountain streams get in. Someone timidly spoke up. But how do we know if the tunnel is big enough for people to squeeze through? What if it's very small? What if it's only a crack? And that Yao beast is still guarding the lake, Jin Sijuan frowned, and refusing to move. That's when I would be like, well, does anyone else have any fucking good ideas? Like, we might as well investigate it. Like, why are you just putting down our idea without even fully investigating it? Shut up. Oh, Jeanette, that's so nice of you. Thank you for even saying that. That's so sweet. Japanese maple trees in ancient China? Canadian maple leaves, yes. Wei Wuxian tugged open his collar to fan non-stop at the injury under his clothes. We have a sliver of hope, so let's act on it. Like, duh! God, I hate people that are like that. It's better than sitting around waiting for Ma and Pa to come rescue us. So what if it's guarding the lake? Lure it out. An hour later, after much discussion, the group of disciples went further back into the cave once more. They hid and spied on the Yao beast. Most of its massive body was still submerged in the black lake. Its long, snake-like neck emerged from its tortoise shell and approached the shore. It opened its mouth and carefully snagged the corpses with its fangs, then withdrew its neck to drag the bodies into the depths of its fortress-like shell. It seemed it preferred to take its meals indoors. Oh my gosh. Wei Wuxian threw a torch. It smacked against a corner of the cave. This movement was dramatically amplified in the dead silence of the underground. The head of the Yao beast immediately jutted out of its shell once more. It's like, I was eating! I'm only eating the dead ones! Calm down! Its pupils were slitted, reflecting the dancing flames of the torches. It slowly extended its neck towards it, apparently instinctively drawn to objects that gave off light and heat. Behind it, Zhang Cheng dove soundlessly into the water. Oh yeah, he's like the good little swimmer boy. The Zheng clan of Yunmeng lived by the waters, and their disciples were all exceptional swimmers. The few ripples produced by the action dispersed as soon as Zheng Cheng went under. Where's the Zheng Cheng, like, pro diver team, AU? The group stared intently at the surface of the water, but glanced up at the Yao beast every so often. The giant black snakehead was hesitantly circling the torch, undecided about whether to approach. The sight made the youths increasingly nervous. The Yao beast finally decided to test what the torch was made of. It nudged its nose closer, which only resulted in it getting licked by searing flames. It's kind of mean. The creature immediately snapped its neck back and blew 2 furious streams of air from its nostrils, which extinguished the torch. Right at that moment, Zheng Cheng resurfaced from the water and drew in a deep breath. Gah! The Yao beast sensed the intrusion on its territory and swiveled its head, then twisted its body back towards Zheng Cheng. Seeing things going awry, Wei Wuxian bit down on his finger, then swiftly drew a few sloppy characters on the center of his palm. He rushed out to the tunnel and slapped it on the ground. The moment his palm left the earth, a column of flames taller than a man surged from the ground. Oh shit, he knows flame alchemy? It's tattooed on the back of Lan Wangji's back. Startled, the Yao beast gazed in his direction, and Zheng Cheng took the chance to swim ashore. There's a tunnel at the bottom of the lake. It's not small, he said. How small is not small? Wei Wuxian asked. It's like, it's about 4 inches. That's not small. 5 or 6 people can get through at once, Zheng Cheng exclaimed. Everyone, listen here, Wei Wuxian shouted to the crowd. Follow right behind Zheng Cheng, into the water and into the tunnel. Everyone who's still in good shape, take care of the injured. Those who can swim, take care of those who can't. 5 or 6 can go through at a time, so don't get pushy. Now go! As he spoke, the flame column gradually died out. Kate, it's 6 balls deep. Wei Wuxian retreated a dozen steps back in a different direction, then struck the ground again to erupt another column of fire. The giant golden eyes of the Yao beast glowered red from the flame's reflection and burned with madness as it flexed its claws. It dragged its mountainous body in Wei Wuxian's direction. What are you doing? Zheng Cheng shouted angrily. What are you doing? Wei Wuxian snapped back. Take them and go! He had successfully lured the Yao beast onto the shore. When should they go, if not now? Zheng Cheng clenched his teeth. Everyone, come over here, Zheng Cheng ordered. Those who can swim, stand on the left. Those who can't, on the right. Wei Wuxian was observing the terrain as he fled around, setting off flames. Suddenly, a sharp pain stabbed through his arm. I'm like, I can't really remember in the Donghua or in the Untamed, but like, is he slinging flames in any of the other adaptations? Like, I don't remember that. Like, is he like, he's just going fire after fire after fire at this thing. Suddenly, a sharp pain stabbed through his arm. He looked down to see he had been shot by an arrow. As it turned out, the Lan sect disciple whom Lan Wangji had glared at earlier had found a bow and arrow abandoned by the Wens and tried to shoot the Yao beast. Perhaps because of the beast's fearsome savagery and agility, the boy's hands were panicked and unsteady, and the shot had flown astray and pierced Wei Wuxian instead. What? Wei Wuxian had no time to pull it out. He's just got a fucking axe, and Su Sha shot him? Like, oh my god. Fuck this guy. That's hilarious. Oh my god. He struck the ground again, calling forth another surge of flames. Back off! Don't make more work for me! The sect disciple had wanted to fell the Yao beast with a single shot to its vital point in hopes of regaining some of the face he'd lost earlier. Who could have thought it would turn out like this? His face flushed progressively paler as he fled into the water. Like, isn't this the same dude who also fucked up, like, the water Yao thing? Like, he's the one who had to be saved with when Lan Qichen and them go out in the boat? Su Sha is just so... It's just... He's so embarrassed he had to turn evil. Oh my god. His face flushed progressively paler as he fled into the water. Zheng Cheng urged Wei Wuxian, "Get over here! Get over here! Hurry!" "Be right there," Wei Wuxian said. Zheng Cheng still had 3 disciples with him who couldn't swim, but they were the last group left. They couldn't delay any longer. They had to dive now! Wei Wuxian tore the arrow out of his arm before it abruptly hit him. Oh no! The resulting smell of blood greatly excited the Yao beast. Its neck suddenly grew in length, and its mouth gaped wide with fangs. Before Wei Wuxian could think of what to do, he was shoved by someone and sent tumbling. Lan Wangji had pushed him away. Yeah! The jaws of the Yao beast closed in one smooth motion on Lan Wangji's right leg. No! Just watching this happen, Wei Wuxian felt pain spark in his own leg, but Lan Wangji was shockingly still, expressionless. Holy shit. All he did was slightly wrinkle his brow. His leg's already broken. And then he gets it chomped, and he's like... That's fucking crazy. But the Yao beast immediately started dragging him backward. Judging by the creature's size and the crushing power of its fangs, it could bite a person in half like it was nothing at all. Thankfully, it didn't seem to like eating things that were broken into chunks. Once it caught its prey, it was quite adamant in dragging it back in its shell to savor at its leisure. But if it only bit down a little harder, Lan Wangji's leg would snap right off. Its tortoise shell was incomparably tough. No weapons could penetrate it. Once it took Lan Wangji in there, he could forget about coming back out. Wei Wuxian broke into a mad dash and lunged before the beast's head fully shrank back into the shell, managing to catch one of the fangs of its upper jaw. Ordinarily, he wasn't anywhere near strong enough to grapple with a monster like this, but with a life on the line, a horrifying and inhumane power surged through him, like when a mother can lift a car off a baby. Pushing against the tortoiseshell with both feet, he gripped that tooth firmly and wedged himself there like a stopper, not allowing it to shrink back, denying it the chance to enjoy its delicious meal. Lan Wangji, who had never imagined Wei Wuxian could catch up in such circumstances, was entirely dumbfounded. Like, in that moment, he thought he was just gonna die. Like, he's like, I saved Wei Wuxian. My life is finished now, and that's fine because I saved him. I'm just gonna be eaten by this turtle. Expressionlessly. Wei Wuxian feared that if the Yao beast threw a fit, it'd either eat both of them alive or tear Lan Wangji's leg off. He continued to grip the sharp upper tooth with his right hand while his left seized at a tooth in the beast's lower jaw. Maybe it's like he has a toothache, and if you fix the toothache, he will not be so angry anymore. He forced his arms in opposite directions with all his might. Veins bulged on his forehead, practically bursting on his bright red face. Gradually, the 2 rows of fangs clamped onto Lan Wangji's flesh were forced apart. With the creature's fangs no longer able to hold its prey in place, Lan Wangji dropped into the lake. Wei Wuxian's godlike strength abruptly vanished at the sight. dude. It's like it was fully connected to wanting to save Lan Wangji. Like, that's some soulmate connection shit. He released his grip, unable to hold on, and the two rows of crooked fangs snapped violently together with a sound as deafening as the hardest of stones colliding. Wei Wuxian fell into the water next to Lan Wangji. He flipped around, scooped Lan Wangji close, and hauled them both out of harm's way with one arm, swimming meters in a flash and leaving a long, beautiful wave behind them. Tumbling onto shore, he hauled Lan Wangji onto his back and bolted. He still has like a fucking arrow in his arm before doing all that too. CSCL says, imagine waking up surrounded by cheeseburgers, but then the cheeseburgers start fighting back and burning you? Yeah. You! Lan Wangji blurted out. Me! Wei Wuxian confirmed. Surprise! What surprise? Sprawled on Wei Wuxian's back, Lan Wangji had a rare and obvious disturbance in his tone. Let me down! Wei Wuxian's mouth didn't take a break, but kept the pace even as they ran for their lives. Wouldn't I look bad if I let you drown just because you asked? The roar of the Yao beast behind them reverberated painfully in their ears and chests, and they felt blood surging up in their throats. Wei Wuxian finally shut up and concentrated on escape. To prevent the Yao beast from rampaging after them, he scurried through narrow holes and chose paths its tortoise shell couldn't squeeze into. Classic. He lost track of time as he ran, holding his breath, and didn't slow his pace until he could no longer hear the creature. Wei Wuxian relaxed and let himself slow. He smelled blood. When he reached back, his right hand returned wet with it. Oh no, Wei Wuxian thought. Lan Zhan's injury is going to get even worse. Figuring he'd run far enough that they'd made it somewhere safe, he hurriedly turned around and set Lan Wangji gently on the ground. Lan Wangji's leg had already been injured when it was mauled by the Yao beast and then soaked in water. Large patches of blood stained his white robes crimson, and there were rows of visible puncture holes from the fangs. He was unsteady, barely able to stand. The moment Wei Wuxian let go of him, he tumbled onto his backside. Wei Wuxian leaned down and checked him over for a moment before straightening up to search the underground cave. There were a few shrubs around, and with difficulty he found some thick and straight branches. He used a corner of his clothing to scrub the dirt off of them and then squatted in front of Lan Wangji. You got any rope or string on you? Oh, your forehead ribbon looks like it'll do the trick. Come, take it off. Wei Wuxian didn't wait for Lan Wangji to respond before he swiftly reached out and plucked said ribbon free. Another time he's touched the ribbon. I love how MXTX is like not letting us forget that it is the only your soulmate can touch your ribbon, and Wei Wuxian's gonna be touching this ribbon every chance he gets. He flicked it out once, then straightened Lan Wangji's disaster-prone leg. Just throwing a sick burn in that sentence. It was the disaster-prone leg, before firmly splintering the limb to the branches, using the ribbon like a bandage to tie everything in place. So suddenly stripped of his forehead ribbon by Wei Wuxian, Lan Wangji's eyes widened. You! Wei Wuxian's nimble hands had already tied the knot. Haha, double entendre. He patted Lan Wangji's shoulder to console him. What about me? Let's not fuss about it at a time like this. As much as you like that ribbon, it's not as important as your leg, right? Lan Wangji fell backward. Whether he lacked the strength to sit upright or had been simply angered into speechlessness remained to be seen. Wei Wuxian suddenly caught a faint whiff of medicinal herbs. He fumbled a small perfume sachet out of his robes. It was dripping wet, its tassels drooping, an exquisite yet pitiable sight. He recalled Mian Mian saying it was filled with medicinal herbs and immediately opened it to check. Sure enough, it was packed with half-dried, partially crushed pieces of medicinal herbs, along with a few tiny flowers. Lan Zhan, he urged. Stop napping. Get up for a minute. I have a perfume sachet here. Come and see if there are any medicinal herbs we can use. Wei Wuxian yanked and pulled at Lan Wangji, doggedly pestering him until he gave in and feebly sat up. Lan Wangji gave the contents a look. To his surprise, he recognized several herbs effective for stopping bleeding and purging poison. As he picked them out, Wei Wuxian commented, I didn't expect that girlie's perfume sachet to come in so handy. I'll have to thank her big time when we get back. You mean harass her big time? Lan Wangji responded coldly. Wow, he's losing a lot of blood, but still has time to be sassy. Or maybe because he's losing a lot of blood, he's able to be sassy. What are you saying? Wei Wuxian tisked. It's not harassment when I do it. It's only harassment when it comes from someone greasy, like Wen Chao. When I do it. A disaster gay. Anyhow, strip off your clothes. Lan Wangji furrowed his brows slightly. What? What? Strip! Wei Wuxian repeated. When he said strip, he meant strip. Wei Wuxian grabbed Lan Wangji's collar with both hands and yanked it open, peeling it off to expose his snow-white chest and shoulders. It's kinda gay. Suddenly pinned to the ground and forcibly stripped of his clothes, Lan Wangji promptly turned green. Wei Ying! What are you trying to do? Wei Wuxian completely... It's like, at that point, I would look at him and be like, what do you think I'm trying to do? Do you actually think I'm, in this exact moment, the most logical conclusion is something perverted is about to happen, or do you think I'm going to try and save you? Wei Wuxian completely divested Lan Wangji of his clothing and ripped the fabric into strips. What am I trying to do? There's only the two of us here now. Take a good, hard look. What do you think I'm trying to do? Oh my god, okay. Wei Wuxian's not helping, though. DRZ has been a member for 14 months, a Supreme member too. Thank you so much. Woo, 14 months. Woke up from a nap and noticed the live, even though late. Welcome. Thank you so much, DRZ. I'm happy to have you here. Thank you so much. An arrow in the arm and a bitten leg. Just a normal Wen clan field trip. Yes, truly. With that, he stood up and tugged his belt open. Okay. Okay. Now you're trying to spook him. Revealing his own chest as if to reciprocate. His collarbones were deep with smooth contours. Although still an adolescent, he brimmed with vitality and strength. Watching him, Lan Wangji's face cycled through a myriad of colors from sickly pale to darkly flushed. He looked almost like he was about to cough up blood. Wei Wuxian smiled and took a step closer, cornering him. He removed his own dripping wet outer robe before Lan Wangji's eyes, then lifted it with one hand before releasing his grip. The clothes dropped wetly to the ground. Wei Wuxian opened his arms in a shrug. Now that we're done with the robes, it's time for the pants. Lan Wangji wanted to stand up, but his leg was injured. They just fought a fierce battle, and the fury boiling in his skull addled his mind. The higher his anxiety peaked, the less he was able to stand. He was completely and utterly exhausted. With such agitation rattling his body, he coughed up a mouthful of blood. At the sight, Wei Wuxian immediately crouched down and tapped several acupoints on Lan Wangji's chest. There, now all the bad blood is out. You're welcome. Having coughed up the purple-black blood, Lan Wangji immediately felt the nauseating, suffocating pain in his chest recede. When he reflected on Wei Wuxian's actions, it had finally dawned on him. After entering Mount Mushi, Wei Wuxian had realized that Lan Wangji didn't look well. There must have been pent-up qi in his chest. And so Wei Wuxian had deliberately terrorized him, riling him into coughing up the blood he'd been holding back. Wow, it just took taking his pants off, but I have to take my pants off for medical reasons. B says, Lan Zhan's mind was not in the gutter. Wei Wuxian was deadass trying to make him think he was trying to do something, so Lan Wangji would cough up the blood in his lungs. Yes, but the first thing... If you put him down and then he takes off his robe, I'm like, my first thought would be, you're gonna do some sort of medical procedure on me. But then when Wei Wuxian took off his own clothes, then I'd be like, okay, what's happening? Oh fuck, I just saw a spoiler of the next line. Oh my fucking god. Are you kidding me? Although Lan Wangji knew he'd acted with good intentions, he still seemed a bit peeved. Can you not play such pranks again? Bottling up things like that in your heart is bad for your health, Wei Wuxian argued back, but they're easily expelled with a scare. Don't worry, I'm not into guys. I won't take this chance to try anything with you. Frivolous! Lan Wangji exclaimed. Wei Wuxian, who had noticed long ago that Lan Wangji had quite the temper today, didn't bother to argue further. Fine, fine, so be it, he waved dismissively. I'm frivolous. I'm the most frivolous of all. Oh my god, Bee-Boop! Holy shit! Oh my god! Dude, thank you so much! What? Oh my god! Thank you so much, Bee-Boop! That's so kind of you! Bee-Boop just sent 20 gift memberships. Oh my god, thank you so much. That is crazy. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Welcome to all the new members. Oh my goodness. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Kate says, that's a lot of members. It is. Oh my god, that is a huge help to my channel. Seriously, thank you. B-Boop says, been busy, so I'm a little late, but wanted to drop by and support the stream. That supports me so much. Seriously, thank you so much, B-Boop. I don't know what to say other than just thank you. That's so nice of you. Oh, I hope some people that were wanting to become members got the membership. That's so nice. Oh, thank you so much, B-Boop. Patron saint B-Boop, truly. Aw, funding the wedding. Yeah. Thank you, B-Boop. Wei Wuxian is the most frivolous of all. As he spoke, chilly underground air crept up along his spine, giving him a fit of shivers. He quickly rose to his feet and went around collecting withered twigs and dead leaves, then redrew a fire spell on his palm. The pile of withered branches cracked a light, occasionally sparking off embers. Wei Wuxian crushed up the medicinal herbs he'd picked out earlier, then ripped open the leg of Lan Wangji's trousers to sprinkle the herbs evenly over the 3 hideous, barely clotted black holes. Ugh. Suddenly, Lan Wangji reached out and stopped Wei Wuxian mid-action. What's wrong? Wei Wuxian asked. Without a word, Lan Wangji took a portion of the crushed herbs from Wei Wuxian's palm and pressed them on Wei Wuxian's chest. Okay, that's so cute. That's so sweet. That's so romantic. Like, his leg is about to, like, fucking fall off, and he stops him, and then puts some on his chest. That's so sweet. Hey, Esper lady! Ah! Wei Wuxian cried out. His body shook and trembled at the sudden pressure. He'd completely forgotten that he also had a fresh wound, the burn from the branding iron. It was still bleeding and had also been soaked in water. Lan Wangji withdrew his hand. Wei Wuxian picked off the bits of herb from the wound, hissing a few times as he did, and then threw them back onto Lan Wangji's leg. Don't worry about it. I get hurt all the time, but that doesn't stop me from playing in the Lotus Lake water right after. I'm used to it. A tiny perfume sachet like this can't hold much. There's not enough herbs to go around, and the way I see it, those 3 holes of yours need them more. Ah! Lan Wangji's face was grim. Moments later, he said, Since you know such pain, do not act so recklessly next time. Oh. Damn. Lan Wangji's pissed he got brand. I mean, as he should. It's like, oh my god, he's so upset that Wei Wuxian got hurt. I didn't have a choice, did I? Wei Wuxian responded. You think I wanted to get scorched? Who knew Wangling Zhou was so vicious? She almost got that iron in Mian Mian's eye. Mian Mian's a girl, and a pretty one to boot. How terrible would it be if she was blind in one eye or branded with a mark like that for life? That mark is on your body for life, Lan Wangji said in a thin voice. That's different. It's not like it's on my face, Wei Wuxian explained. Besides, I'm a man. What's there to be afraid of? What man doesn't get hurt and earn a few scars in his life? That's crazy to say with what we know in the future and how many fucking scars Lan Wangji gets. Holy shit. That's different. It's not like it's on my face. Besides, I'm a man. What's there to be afraid of? What man doesn't get hurt and earn a few scars in his life? Oh, guys, there was a little Shiba in here. Lexi came to join us. A few? How about 33 plus a Wen brand? You guys want to see Lexi? I'll get her. Lexington. Oh, your full government name. Don't jump ship. Stay. You stay. There we go. There we go. She's too little. There we go. Oh, Lexi, who's that up there? Who's that? Oh, you're so pretty. She has been so good lately. Her health is in perfect good health. I couldn't believe she made a full recovery. I thought you were gonna die. She's so cute. Ah! I know, she has the cutest face ever. Oh, you're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Yeah. Okay. Still bare-chested, he squatted on the ground and picked up a branch. Oh, Link's in here now too. But she left. She came in, saw Lex, and then left. Still bare-chested, he squatted on the ground and picked up a branch to poke at the fire to stoke it. Besides, if you look at it from another perspective, even though this mark is here to stay, it represents the fact that I once protected a girl, and that girl will definitely remember me now. She'll never forget me for the rest of her life. Now that I think about it, it's actually quite... Lan Wangji shoved him hard, suddenly furious. So you are aware she will never forget you for the rest of her life. His shove happened to land smack dab on Wei Wuxian's chest wound. Clutching his heart, Wei Wuxian shouted as he fell back on his buttocks. Lan Zhan! The pain was so intense it made him break out in a cold sweat. Groaning, he cranked his neck up. Lan Zhan, what great grudge do you have against me? You're treating me like I killed your father. And there is a footnote. Referring to the 4 great grudges / hatreds of ancient times. The great grudges are murder of one's father, not by patricide, robbery of one's wife, annihilation of one's country, and slaughter of one's clan. A son will not have fulfilled his proper duty until the wrong is avenged, even at the cost of his life. Honestly, that's... Okay, listen. Lan Wangji has been suppressing his emotions his entire life. He's been bottling everything up, and of course he's upset that Wei Wuxian has a crush or whatever, is just being flirty with Mian Mian and whatever, like that kills him because he's in love with him, right? And finally him not being able to hold that in and fucking shoving him and even like hurting his wound, he's that upset, is just so crazy. Like this is a real Lan Zhan crash out, you know? Lan Wangji clenched his fists. A moment later, he relaxed, looking like he wanted to help Wei Wuxian up. But Wei Wuxian sat up by himself and shrank back, dodging him repeatedly. Okay, I know you don't like me, so I'll sit further away. Don't come over, and don't push me again. It hurts like hell. The wound was on his left side, and it hurt when he lifted that arm. Wei Wuxian scurried away and collected the white robe that he'd torn into strips earlier, then tossed the strips to Lan Wangji from afar with his right hand. Bandage yourself. I'm gonna stay here. He hung the outer robe he'd taken off by the fire to dry. Neither of them spoke for a long time as their clothes dried. It was, of course, Wei Wuxian who opened the lines of communication again. Lan Zhan, you're so weird today. So rough. You're not speaking like you normally do either. Do not flirt with others when you have no deeper intent, Lan Wangji stated. You do as you please and throw their hearts into turmoil. It's not like you're the one I'm flirting with, Wei Wuxian said. You're the last person I'd expect to be thrown into turmoil. Unless... Unless what? Lan Wangji snapped. Unless, Lan Zhan, you like Mian Mian. Fuck. The barbarian speaks of the 8 paths, Lan Wangji said coldly after a brief pause, which means an idiom to accuse someone of speaking nonsense. Well, I'll ramble on about 9 then, Wei Wuxian quipped. Is making snappy comebacks fun? Lan Wangji questioned. Look, now the Lan sect has left the building. We have full-on sassy, jealous, gay Lan Zhan now. Very. And I'm not just fast with my mouth. I've got slick moves, too. Lan Wangji muttered to himself, why am I here talking nonsense with you? God. Without Lan Wangji realizing it, Wei Wuxian had scooted over to sit beside him again, heedless of any consequences of his chatter. Because it can't be helped, we're the only 2 unfortunate souls left in this place, right? If not me, who else are you gonna talk nonsense with? That's very cute. Lan Wangji shot a look at Wei Wuxian, someone who never learned his lesson, someone who forgot all about pain once the wound had healed. Wei Wuxian was about to give him a cheeky grin when he suddenly saw Lan Wangji lower his head. Wei Wuxian let out a horrible scream. Ah! Stop! Lan Wangji had buried his face deep in the crook of Wei Wuxian's arm and latched on with his teeth. Not only did he not stop when Wei Wuxian started screaming, he bit down even harder. Are you letting go or not? Wei Wuxian shrieked. I'm gonna kick you. Don't think I won't kick you just because you're injured. Stop it. Stop biting. I'll get lost. I'll beat it. I'll go. Just let go and I'll get lost. Lan Zhan, you've gone mad today. You're a dog. A dog. Stop biting me. I just love that he just fucking lost it. He just couldn't do it anymore. He had to bite him. Once Lan Wangji had finally done losing his mind, Once Lan Wangji was finally done losing his mind and had his filling... Sorry, the sentence is weird. Once Lan Wangji was finally done losing his mind and had his fill of biting, Wei Wuxian sprang to his feet and scrambled over to the other side of the underground cave. Don't you follow me! Lan Wangji slowly straightened up and rose to his feet. He fixed his clothes and hair, his eyes were downcast, and he said nothing, looking as calm as could be, like the person who'd just been scolding, shoving, and biting was someone else entirely. Wei Wuxian stared at the teeth marks on his arm. Still badly shaken, he crouched down and shrank back into a corner, where he continued to poke at the firewood. He couldn't make heads or tails of what was happening. What is up with Lan Zhan? He might have saved me, but I technically saved him too, right? Not that I need him to thank me or anything, but why can't we be friends even when things are like this? Or am I really as annoying as Zhang Cheng said? He was still doubting himself when Lan Wangji suddenly spoke. Thank you. Thinking he'd misheard, Wei Wuxian glanced at Lan Wangji. Lan Wangji was looking at him as well. Thank you, he repeated solemnly. Seeing him slightly lower his head, Wei Wuxian feared he was going to do a full bow of gratitude. He hurriedly moved aside. Let's drop the formalities. I have this problem where I absolutely can't stand to hear others thanking me, especially people like you, who do it all formally like that. It gives me the creeps. I'm getting goosebumps. Don't even bother with the bow. You are overthinking it, Lan Wangji coolly replied. Even if I wish to bow to you, I cannot move. It seemed he'd returned to normal. He'd even thanked him twice. Wei Wuxian, in his delight, unconsciously wanted to scoot over again. He loved to get up and close and personal with people, nuzzling and rubbing on them, but the slight stab of pain from the teeth marks on his arm reminded him that Lan Zhan had lost his mind earlier, and there might just be a repeat performance, so he quickly restrained himself. He stared at the dark ceiling of the cave and mused aloud with a serious expression. Zhang Cheng and the others got out. Getting down the mountain takes a day or two, and once they reach its base, they'll definitely return to their own homes rather than reporting back to the Wens. But their swords would have been confiscated, so who knows how long it'll take for them to find help. Seems to me we'll be underground for some time. We'll have to figure out a way to solve some lingering issues. He paused briefly before continuing. The good news is, the monster keeps to that black lake and doesn't chase after us, but that's also bad news. If it keeps hogging the lake, we can't get through that tunnel at the bottom. Perhaps it is not a monster, Lan Wangji said. Consider, what does it resemble? A tortoise! There is a divine creature with such a form. The divine beast Xuanwu? Xuanwu, known as Xuan Ming, was a chimeric tortoise snake. As a water deity, it dwelled in the North Sea. The underworld also lay in the north, and for that reason, it was the deity of the north. Lan Wangji nodded, and Wei Wuxian flashed his teeth to demonstrate. That thing in there has a mouthful of fangs like this! It even dines on human flesh. Isn't that far too different from the myths? It is not a true divine beast, naturally, Lan Wangji stated. Instead, it is a creature that failed to achieve divinity and devolved into a Yao. In other words, it is a malformed divine beast. Malformed? Wei Wuxian parroted. I have read records of it in ancient texts, Lan Wangji began to explain. 4 centuries ago, a false Xuanyu appeared in Xishan and went on a rampage. It was massive and hungered for the flesh of living humans. A cultivator deemed it the Xuanyu of slaughter. So Wen Chao brought us here to hunt this 400-year-old Xuanyu of slaughter? Wei Wuxian wondered. It is more massive than the recorded in the ancient texts, but it must be. It's been 400 years, so it probably grew a little. Was the Xuanyu of slaughter not slain back then? No, Lan Wangji replied. A group of cultivators formed an alliance in preparation to slay it. That winter, there was heavy snowfall, and the cold was uncommonly bitter. The Xuanyu of slaughter vanished and has not appeared since. Neko said The scene refers to a particular idiom. The original instance of is in the records of grand historians, where Wu Qi bit his arm to make a vow to his dying mother as a sign of devotion. It later gained a romantic sense to mean secret marriages between a man and a woman. So this is Lan Wangji going, if I die, I'm dying your husband. Oh my gosh. A secret devotion? That is really, really sweet. I love that. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Neko, for sharing that. It went into hibernation. Wei Wuxian paused briefly, but... I heard a bang. I heard Stitch yell. I was like, oh my god, she fucking fell somehow. But it's actually Connor, if you guys remember him. He was picking up, actually my teleprompter. But he's sick, so he couldn't come on the stream, because I would have got him to come say hi. Where were we? Okay, it went into hibernation. Wei Wuxian paused briefly. But even then, it didn't need to sleep for 400 years, right? You said the thing loved eating humans. How many did it devour? As recorded in the books, each time it appeared, it would consume anywhere between a few hundred people to entire cities and villages, Lan Wangji answered. Is the Xuan in the Xuan Wu of slaughter the same Xuan in He Xuan? Very hungry beasts. Connor is a groomsman, yeah. Oh, so it just stuffed itself and went into a food coma, Wei Wuxian concluded. The Yao beast seemed to enjoy dragging corpses back into its shell, though it was hard to tell whether it was stockpiling food or just wanted to savor them slowly. Perhaps it had amassed too much food in its shell all at once 4 centuries ago, and had yet to digest all of it. Lan Wangji ignored him, but Wei Wuxian continued. Speaking of food, have you done Inidia before? Cultivators like us can go around 3 or 4 days without eating or drinking, but if no one comes to our rescue in a few days, we'll start getting weaker. It'll drain our physical strength, energy, and spiritual power. If Wen Chao and his people stood by and did nothing after their escape, it wouldn't be all that bad. The other families might bring reinforcements in a few days' time. The real danger was the Wens refusing to provide timely aid, or worse, hitting them when they were down. The other families who might come to their rescue were really only the Lan clan of Gusu and the Zheng clan of Yunmeng, and if the Wens decided to obstruct them, then those few days would likely double. Wei Wuxian retrieved a branch and sketched a rough map on the ground, then connected a few lines on it. Mount Mushi is a little closer to Gusu than it is to Yunmeng, so your family should arrive first. Let's just wait. Even if they don't come, Zheng Cheng should be able to get to Lotus Pier in a couple of days at most. He's a smart cookie. Things Wei Wuxian has called Zheng Cheng. A smart cookie. Also, it is the same Xuan. Ah, interesting. The Wens won't be able to stop him. There's nothing to worry about. Lan Wangji lowered his eyes and spoke softly, looking wan. They will not come. The cloud recesses has been burned to the ground. But everyone's still alive, right? Wei Wuxian tentatively asked. Your uncle? Your brother? Even if the head of the Lan family, Lan Wangji's father, Qing Heng Jun, was severely injured, Wei Wuxian had assumed they still had Lan Qiren and Lan Qichen to hold down the fort. However, Lan Wangji answered woodenly, Father is nearly gone, and Xiongjiang is missing. The branch Wei Wuxian was using to scribble on the ground stalled mid-action. That other disciple had mentioned the head of the Lan clan was severely injured while they were heading up the mountain, but Wei Wuxian had never expected it to be so serious that he was nearly gone. Maybe Lan Wangji had only just received the news that his father was dying. Although the head of the Lan clan cultivated in seclusion year-round and paid no heed to the outside affairs, he was still Lan Wangji's father, and on top of that, Lan Qichen was missing too. No wonder Lan Wangji was particularly gloomy and hot-tempered. He's so sad that his dad's dying, and his brother is missing, and his whole family has just been burned to the ground. All at once, Wei Wuxian felt a little awkward, not knowing what comfort he could offer. When he absent-mindedly turned his head to glance over, his entire body froze. The firelight reflecting off Lan Wangji's face made his skin look like warm jade. It also clearly illuminated the single streak of tears on his cheek, and he's crying. His family, his house burns down. His dad's dead. His brother's missing. His leg is broken. The boy he has a crush on is flirting with Mian Mian and now has a scar that will permanently remind him of how he saved Mian Mian's life. And he crashes out. He bites him. He goes crazy. And now he's reminded that everybody's dying. And he cries. God, this poor guy. Yes, Apple Dash. Connor's in a few of my videos. Wei Wuxian was shocked dumb for a second, then thought, oh crap. People like Lan Wangji probably only shed tears a few times over the course of their lives, and Wei Wuxian just had to be here for one of those times. He couldn't bear to see anyone cry. If he came upon a woman crying, he felt compelled to comfort and tease her until she broke into a smile. A man's tears made him even more uncomfortable. In Wei Wuxian's opinion, stumbling upon a usually strong man in the act of crying was far more terrifying than a stumbling upon a chaste girl in the middle of a bath. And he couldn't even go over and comfort him. Lan Wangji had suffered so many blows, his home burned to the ash, his entire clan persecuted, his father on death's door, his elder brother missing, and Lan Wangji himself being wounded. Any attempts at comfort would be useless. Wei Wuxian didn't know what to do with himself, so he turned his head away. After a while, he tried to speak. Lanjan? Shut up. Lan Wangji snapped frostily. Wei Wuxian, shut up. Good night, Kate. It was fun having you in the chat today. The firewood crackled. Wei Ying, Lan Wangji said quietly. You really are such a loathsome person. Oh, Wei Wuxian said. With so much going on, Lanjan must be stressed as hell, and yet here I am, prancing around in front of him. No wonder he's so angry. Drained of his strength and with that injured leg, he couldn't hit me, so he bit me instead. I think I'd best give him some space, some peace and quiet. After holding himself back for a while, he went ahead and said, Not trying to annoy you, but are you cold? The clothes are dry now. You can have the inner robe, and I'll keep the outer one. The inner robe was his undergarment, which wouldn't normally have been appropriate for Lan Wangji to wear, but his outer robe was filthy. The Lan clan of Gusu were obsessed with cleanliness, and it seemed even more offensive to give such a garment to Lan Wangji. Lan Wangji didn't respond, nor did he look at him. Wei Wuxian tossed the dry white inner robe to him and draped the outer robe around himself, before silently making himself scarce to give Lan Wangji space. They waited for 3 days. There was neither day nor night in the cave. The only reason they knew it was 3 days because of that infuriating Lan internal clock, allowing one to mark the time by their sleeping and waking. One only had to count how many times Lan Wangji slept to determine the passing hours. Having been finally allowed 3 days of rest to conserve energy and strength, the wound on Lan Wangji's leg was slowly healing, not worsening. With this improvement, he was able to move himself into a lotus position to meditate and cultivate in silence. Wei Wuxian made himself scarce over those 3 days. It was only when Lan Wangji regained his calm and remastered his emotions, turning back into the unflappable, expressionless Lanjan he knew, that he began to act like nothing had happened. He shamelessly pretended not to have seen or heard anything that night, and no longer teased him for his own amusement, knowing not to go too far. Their interactions were lukewarm, but peaceful. They both scouted around the Black Lake a number of times. By now, the Xuanyu of Slaughter was done grabbing all the corpses with its mouth and stashing them one by one in its shell. The colossal, pitch-black shell floated on the water's surface like a giant, indestructible warship. The first few times they ventured near, they heard the sound of loud chewing coming from within. Later, the noise vanished and was replaced with what seemed to be thunderous snores. The two initially wondered whether it was feasible to sneak underwater to search for the tunnel through which they could escape while the Yao beast was asleep, but they could only search for an incense time at most before the beast detected their movements. Although they made a few attempts, they never found the tunnel Zheng Cheng mentioned. Wei Wuxian suspected it might now be blocked by the Yao beast. He tried to lure it out of the water again, but the monster seemed to have grown tired of all the commotion and didn't stir. They collected the arrows, the longbows, and the branding irons scattered all over the banks and carried them back to count. There were over 100 arrows, more than 30 longbows, and a dozen branding irons. By then, it was already the 4th day. Lan Wangji picked up a longbow and examined its material with rapt attention. He plucked at the bowstring, unleashing a powerful, resounding, metallic sound. This was a variety of bow and arrow used by cultivation clans to hunt nefarious creatures, and the materials used to forge them were of extraordinary quality. Lan Wangji removed the bowstring from all the bows and tied them together. He used both hands to stretch the single long bowstring taut and whipped it through the air. The bowstring shot out like lightning, and a flash of bright light streaked forth. A rock 10 meters away shattered into pieces. Lan Wangji retracted the bowstring, and it whistled sharply as it cut through the air. "The killing cord?" Wei Wuxian asked. The killing cord was a secret technique belonging to the Lan clan of Gusu, created and passed down by Lan Yi, the 3rd-generation family head and granddaughter of the clan's founding father, Lan An. Lan Yi was also the only female head of the Lan clan of Gusu. She cultivated with the Guqin, which had 7 strings that could be instantly disassembled and joined together. The 7 strings, arranged from thickest to thinnest, could play immaculate melodies under her soft, snow-white fingers one moment and transform into a lethal weapon the next, slicing through bones and flesh like mud. Ugh. Lan Yi originally created this skill to assassinate dissidents, which earned her quite a bit of criticism. The Lan clan of Gusu was itself ambivalent about the technique, but it was undeniable that the killing cord was the most destructive of their secret techniques, and one that was suited for use in both long-range and close combat. "Breach from within," Lan Wangji stated. With a shell as solid as a fortress and incomparably tough skin, the Yao beast seemed impenetrable. But with such outer defenses, there was a high chance that the parts of its body hidden within its shell were vulnerable. The same thought had crossed Wei Wuxian's mind over the past few days, so he knew exactly what Lan Wangji was talking about. What he was even clearer about was their present situation. After 3 days of recuperation, their strength was now at its peak, but if they were to wait any longer, this optimal state would begin to deteriorate. Furthermore, the 4th day had passed and rescue still had not come. Rather than resign themselves to their fates and wait for death, they might as well fight with all they had. If both of them could join forces and slay this Shanwu of slaughter, they could escape through the tunnel at the bottom of the Black Lake. "I concur. Breach from within," Wei Wuxian said. "But I've heard about your family's killing cord. The shell's interior is a confined space, not a venue conducive to using that skill to its full effect. Plus, the wound on your leg still hasn't healed. Won't it be hard to make this work?" This was the truth, and Lan Wangji understood. They both knew that forcing themselves to do what they were incapable of doing would only drag the other down. "Follow my lead," Wei Wuxian said. A little less than half of the Shanwu of Slaughter's shell was still floating above the surface of the Black Lake. Its 4 limbs, its head, and its tail had all shrunk back into the shell. There was a large hole in the front and 5 small holes on its left, right, and back. It looked like an isolated islet, a small mountain, its body pitch black and uneven, covered with moss and long hanging strands of dark algae. Carrying a bundle of arrows and branding irons on his back, Wei Wuxian soundlessly dove into the water like a slender minnow, swimming to the front of the shell where the Shanwu of Slaughter's head would be. Look at he's like a little minnow. Almost half of the opening was submerged in the waters of the Black Lake, so Wei Wuxian followed the current and swam inside. Oh, Briarbox, thank you so much! You're so sweet, thank you. After passing through, he hopped into the shell's interior and set both feet on solid ground. It felt like he had stepped onto thick, rotten, waterlogged mud. The acrid smell was so overwhelming it almost forced a curse from his mouth. The foul stench was rancid and cloyingly fishy. It reminded Wei Wuxian of a fat, dead rat he'd once seen by a lake in Yanmeng. Pinching his nose, he thought, what an awful place. Thank goodness it didn't let Lan Wangji come in here. He would have puked on the spot at this stench, with that sheltered life of his. And even if he didn't puke, he would have fainted for sure. The Xuanwu of Slaughter snored softly. Wei Wuxian held his breath as he walked soundlessly, the soles of his boots sinking deeper and deeper. 3 steps later, the sludge had already risen above his knees. There seemed to be some hard lumps in the swamp. Wei Wuxian stooped a little, groped around, and unexpectedly touched something hairy. It felt like human hair. He withdrew his hand. That was surely one of the people the Xuanwu of Slaughter had dragged in. He felt around some more and found a boot with half a leg inside, rotted to the point it was half flesh and half bone. This Yao beast clearly wasn't a big fan of cleanliness. Any leftovers or parts it didn't care to finish would fall through the gaps between its teeth and rot inside the shell. Over the centuries, it had all congealed into a thick sludge. Ugh! Wei Wuxian was standing in a mire of death made of broken corpse limbs. Having crawled, fumbled, and tumbled all around over the past few days, he was already unbearably filthy. He couldn't have cared less about getting a bit messier. Offhandedly wiping his hands on his trousers, he continued onward. The Yao beast's snores increased in volume, and the blasts of air grew heavier. Even the mire of corpses beneath his feet was getting progressively thicker. At last, his hand lightly touched the uneven skin of the Yao beast. Following the skin, he slowly felt his way inside. As expected, the head and neck were covered with scales. Further down the neck was tough, bumpy skin. Even further beyond that, the skin grew thinner and more fragile. By now, the mire of corpses had reached Wei Wuxian's waist. The majority of the corpses here had not been fully eaten, and the remaining parts were in bigger chunks, no longer a mire but a mound. Wei Wuxian reached behind his back to retrieve the arrows and branding irons, only to realize that the rods were caught on something. He gripped the shafts and yanked hard before he managed to get them loose. In the process, the front end of one of the branding irons pried something out of the fleshy corpse mound, and it made a muffled clank as it fell. Wei Wuxian instantly stilled. When there was no movement around him and the Yao beast didn't lash out, Wei Wuxian soundlessly heaved a sigh of relief. One of the branding irons got stuck on something. Based on the sound, it was metal, and long. Let's see if it's anything useful. I'm short on weapons, so it'd be awesome if it's a top-grade spiritual sword. He reached out and touched the object that had fallen. It was long and blunt, and rust crawled along its surface. The instant he grasped it, screams filled his ears. It sounded like thousands upon thousands of people wailing in despair. In a split second, a chill shot up his arm and traveled through the rest of his body. Wei Wuxian jolted and jerked his hand back. What the heck is this? What strong resentment? Just then, his surroundings suddenly lit up. A faint reddish-yellow glow cast Wei Wuxian's shadow and illuminated the pitch-black iron sword in front of him. The sword was thrust at an oblique angle into his shadow, embedded right where his heart would be. But this was inside the shell of the Xuanwu of Slaughter. How was there light? Wei Wuxian whirled around. As expected, a pair of large golden eyes were only a stone's throw away from him. It was then that he realized those muffled, thunderous snores had gone silent, and the faint reddish glow was coming from the eyes of the Xuanwu of Slaughter. Scary, scary. Picture, though. He's so young in the corpse mire. The Xuanwu of Slaughter bared its snaggled black and yellow fangs and roared. Wei Wuxian, standing right in front of its mouth, was assailed head-on by the acoustic power of that roar. It hit him with such force that his eardrums almost ruptured, and his entire body cried out in pain. Seeing those gaping jaws coming for him, he hastily shoved the bundle of branding irons into its mouth. The timing and position were perfect. He wedged them between the Yao beast's upper and lower jaw, not a second later or an inch short. Now that the Yao beast couldn't close its mouth, Wei Wuxian stabbed a bundle of arrows into the thinnest and weakest part of its skin. Although the arrows were slim, he'd bundled 5 apiece into one. He stabbed them so deep into the Yao beast's flesh that even the fletching was buried. It was like he pierced it with a poisoned needle. Racked by the intense pain, the Xuanwu of Slaughter clamped down so hard on the branding irons holding its mouth open that they bent, folding into curled hooks. Wei Wuxian stabbed a few more bundles of arrows into its soft skin. Never in its life had the Yao beast known such grief. It went mad with pain, its serpentine body flailing hard inside the shell while its head thrashed. The mire of corpses also roiled and swirled, and the wave of putrid sludge almost engulfed Wei Wuxian entirely. The Xuanyu of Slaughter widened both hideously yellow eyes and opened its jaws wide as if it intended to swallow mountains and rivers in one gulp. The mire of corpses slushed into its mouth like a mighty flood. Wei Wuxian struggled desperately against the current, grabbing the hilt of an iron sword in its attempts. His mind went still and cold for a second before those piercing wails and screams filled his ears once more. The Xuanyu of Slaughter had already sucked Wei Wuxian's body into its mouth. Seeing the Yao beast was about to chomp down, he grabbed the hilt of the iron sword and repeated the same trick as before, jamming it between the beast's upper and lower jaws. The innards of century-old Yao beasts like this one were normally very corrosive. If a human was swallowed, they'd instantly be dissolved into nothing but smoke. Wei Wuxian firmly gripped the hilt of the iron sword, which wedged the creature's jaw open. The Xuanyu of Slaughter thrashed its head around for a while, unable to swallow the obstruction that prevented it from closing its mouth, but still refusing to relax its bite and let go. And finally, at long last, it charged out of its shell. Having grown fearful of being stabbed by Wei Wuxian inside its shell, it did its utmost to squeeze its whole body outside as if to escape, and so the tender flesh once concealed under scaly armor was now exposed. Picturing him like skedaddling out is kind of funny. Lan Wangji, who had been waiting for a long time for this moment, had already lowered the bowstring into position, above the shell's head hole. The moment the Xuanyu of Slaughter charged out, he reeled the bowstring back and stretched it tight. He strummed the string, causing it to vibrate and slice into the beast's flesh. Under the combined efforts of the two, the Yao beast could neither advance nor retreat. Being a malformed Yao rather than a real divine beast, it had never been really intelligent to begin with, and now it was completely mad with pain. It flailed its head and tail as it barged violently around the Black Lake, raising mighty waves and thrashing whirlpools into being. But no matter how much it rampaged, one youth that it could not bite nor devour was firmly wedged in its mouth, and the other youth was strangling its vital points with a bowstring, cutting into where its skin was thinnest inch by inch. The deeper it cut, the more blood gushed forth. I'm starting to feel bad for this guy. Lan Wangji kept the string yanked tight and taut, not loosening his grip for a single second. This went on for 6 hours? Oh my god, I'm just thinking of those, like, you know, like videos where people are trying to catch fish and they have the fish on for like hours. Oh my god, that's fucking crazy. After 6 hours, the Xuanyu of Slaughter finally slowed, and then its movements stopped completely. The Yao beast's neck was almost entirely severed by Lan Wangji's bowstring. Having overexerted himself, Lan Wangji's palms were also covered in wounds and drenched in flesh blood. The colossal shell floated on the surface of the Black Lake's waters, which were now visibly dyed purplish red. The coppery stench was so thick that the scene seemed like a bloody punishment arena from purgatory. Plop. Lan Wangji jumped into the water and swam to the beast's head. The eyes of the Xuanyu of Slaughter were still wide open, but its pupils had already glazed over. Its jaw, however, was still tightly clenched shut. Was that its head coming off? Yeah, that was its head coming off. It's time to eat a turtle! We earned this together. Aw. It even has a little heart. To celebrate. This poor little turtle! Okay, I'm sorry. I have to bite your head off. Yay! We did it! These taste so much like Christmas. Oh my goodness. Good job, Lan Wangji. Oh no, not the corpse mire! Ah! Don't worry, you can have one too. This one's for you. Here, take it. Yeah, no, you can have it. I promise. There you go. Does anyone else love washing down chocolate with milk? That's like one of my favorite things to do. Leandra says, yes! You're on the same page. You get it. It's delicious. Because I feel like chocolate can be so acidically sweet. And then you just drink milk. Oh, so good. And you know what tastes awful? Drinking, like, Coke after eating chocolate. It's just like stings. Okay. Plop. Lan Wangji jumped into the water and swam to the beast's head. The eyes of the Shanwu of Slaughter were still wide open, but its pupils had already glazed over. Its jaw, however, was still tightly clenched shut. Wei Ying! Lan Wangji called out. There was only silence from within the Yao beast's mouth. Lan Wangji thrust out his hands, grabbing the upper and lower rows of teeth in order to force them apart. With nowhere for his feet to find purchase in the water, it took a while to pry the fangs open. He saw the hilt of an ink-black iron sword wedged inside the Shanwu of Slaughter's mouth. Both the tip of the sword and its hilt were embedded deep in the beast's flesh, while the blade had been bent into an arc. Wei Wuxian's body was curled up like a shrimp. His head was bowed, both hands clutching tightly at the sword's blunt blade. He was on the verge of sliding down the Shanwu of Slaughter's throat. Lan Wangji immediately grabbed him by the collar and hauled him out. The moment the Shanwu of Slaughter's jaws opened wider, the iron sword slipped into the water and sank to the bottom of the black lake.
Hello, Link.
Wei Wuxian's eyes were shut tight as he sprawled limply against Lan Wangji, one arm draped around the latter's shoulder. Wrapping an arm around Wei Wuxian's waist, Lan Wangji held him afloat in the bloody water. Wei Ying! His hands trembled, but just as he was about to touch Wei Wuxian's face, he jolted and suddenly came to. How'd it go? How'd it go? Is it dead? Is it dead? He was thrashing weakly as he spoke, causing the two of them to sink in the process. Lan Wangji tightened his hold around Wei Wuxian's waist. It is dead! Wei Wuxian's gaze was blank, like he was having some difficulty digesting the information. After thinking it over for a while, he exclaimed, Dead? It's dead? Good, it's dead. It kept screaming earlier, screaming while it thrashed around and knocked me out cold. Oh, that's right, the tunnel! The underwater tunnel! Let's get out of here, from the underwater tunnel! Lan Wangji's like, are you okay? Lan Wangji found his reaction odd. What is wrong? Nothing! Wei Wuxian had regained his energy. Let's get out of here. There's no time to lose. Indeed, Lan Wangji nodded. I will carry you. No need. Wei Wuxian started to protest, but Lan Wangji's arm still encircled his waist in an iron grip. In a tone that brooked no argument, he ordered him. Breathe in. Ooh, he's like, Daddy went a little crazy earlier, but I'm the alpha now. Navigating the depths in such a dazed state was risky. Wei Wuxian didn't like to act tough, so he simply nodded. Ignoring how filthy the bloody water was, the two took deep breaths and dove under. After a while, they splashed through the surface of the purple-reddish water once more. Wei Wuxian spat out a mouthful of bloody water and wiped his face, which smeared it with purple-red and only made him look even more unkempt. What's going on? Why is there no tunnel entrance? Zheng Cheng had said there was an underwater tunnel at the bottom of the Black Lake that could accommodate the passage of 5 or 6 people at the time. The other disciples had escaped through that tunnel too. Wei Wuxian had initially thought that the entrance was blocked by the Shenwu of Slaughter, which was why they couldn't find it. However, though the Shenwu of Slaughter's corpse had already shifted position, there was still no underwater tunnel to be found in the spot it once occupied. Lan Wangji's hair dripped with water. He gave no response. The two exchanged a look, both having thought of a terrifying possibility. Perhaps, while the Shenwu of Slaughter was frantically thrashing around, its limbs in intense pain, it had shaken the underwater rocks loose or kicked something subsequently, causing the only escape route to be blocked off. Wei Wuxian broke free from Lan Wangji's grasp and plunged beneath the water. Lan Wangji followed suit, but even after searching vigorously, they found no tunnel entrance, not even a gap narrow enough to let a single person through. What do we do? Wei Wuxian asked. Lan Wangji was silent for a moment, then replied, Let us climb back ashore first. Let us climb back ashore first. Wei Wuxian waved his hand. Let's go. Utterly exhausted, the two swam unhurriedly to shore. Both were wholly dyed a bloody hue of purplish red when they rose out of the water. Wei Wuxian took off his clothes, wrung them out, and shook them hard as he cussed aloud. Are you kidding me? I only went all out because I thought we'd have no chance at killing it if no one came to our rescue, but we actually managed to off it, only to have the son of a bastard cave the tunnel in. Fuck me! Also, there's a note that son of a bastard is a pun because it means tortoise egg. But it's also slang for bastard. Ha ha ha. Turtle humor, if you will. Lan Wangji's brows twitched when he heard the word fuck. Slip forth. What is the Chinese word for fuck? What is the word that he winces at in Chinese? He wanted to say something but held himself back. Wei Wuxian swore up a storm as he shook his clothes dry. All of a sudden, his legs gave out, and Lan Wangji quickly stepped forward to catch him. Holding on to Lan Wangji's arm for support, Wei Wuxian assured him, I'm fine, just out of strength. Oh right, Lan, did you see the sword I was holding in its mouth? Where is it? It sank to the bottom of the lake, Lan Wangji replied. Why? Sank? Wei Wuxian replied. Forget it then. When he'd gripped that sword, a torrent of earth-shattering screams had assailed him without pause, leaving him chilled and disoriented. The iron sword had to be special in some way. The Shenwu of Slaughter had consumed at least 5,000 people, some of whom would have been alive when they were dragged into its shell. The sword might have been left behind by a cultivator who had been devoured. Hidden inside the creature's shell for at least 400 years, buried in a mound of corpses, it had surely been contaminated by the resentment and agony of countless people, both dead and alive, soaking in their screams. Wei Wuxian had wanted to hang on to the sword so he could get a good look at it, but it seemed it had sunk and they were both trapped with no way to get it out. He might as well not bother. They'd just wind up arguing pointlessly again if he kept going on about it, and Lan Wangji started to suspect his intentions. His intentions. Interesting. Do not get involved with evil swords. Right? Yeah, I know. The Yin Tiger Tally. There is 3 pages left. Well, 6 pages left, I guess. So, we'll definitely finish it. Wei Wuxian waved dismissively and thought, nothing good ever happens. He dragged his feet as he shuffled forward, and Lan Wangji quietly followed behind him. Not 2 steps later, Wei Wuxian's legs gave out again, and Lan Wangji caught him again. This time, he held a hand to his forehead. After a moment, he said, Wei Ying, you are burning up. With me, baby, burning up, burning up. Wei Wuxian plopped his hand on Lan Wangji's forehead. So are you. Lan Wangji removed his hand and said mildly, your hand is what is cold. I am a little dizzy, Wei Wuxian agreed. Several days ago, Wei Wuxian had tossed all the crushed medicinal herbs and the perfume sachet onto Lan Wangji's leg. He'd only wiped down his own burn from the branding iron and hadn't rested well over the past few days. To top it all off, he'd been rummaging around in corpse sludge and lake water. His condition had finally deteriorated from the various assaults, and he was now running a fever. Wei Wuxian pushed himself to walk until he could no longer move his feet. Feeling increasingly dizzy, he sat down where he was and puzzled over his situation. How'd I get a fever so easily? I haven't had one in years. Lan Wangji didn't feel like commenting on the so easily remark. Lie down, he ordered. Wei Wuxian complied, and Lan Wangji took his hand in his own to channel spiritual power to him. Wei Wuxian lay there for a while before he tried to sit up again. Lie still, Lan Wangji chastised him. Wei Wuxian pulled his hand back. There's no need to channel anything into me. You don't even have much left for yourself. Lan Wangji caught his hand again. Lie still, he repeated. A few days ago, Lan Wangji had been drained of energy and subjected to Wei Wuxian's tormenting and teasing. Now, it was finally Wei Wuxian's turn. All he could do was let Lan Wangji do as he wished. But even lying down, he couldn't stand the quiet. It didn't take long before he started whining. The ground's hard, it's uncomfortable. What do you want? Lan Wangji asked. To lie somewhere else? Where else do you want to lie at a time like this? Lend me your lap, won't you? Lan Wangji was expressionless. Stop fooling around. I'm serious, Wei Wuxian complained. I feel so dizzy, and you're not a girl, so what does it matter? Oh, oh my god. Oh. Even so, you cannot lie on me as you please, Lan Wangji said. Seeing him frown, Wei Wuxian pressed on. I'm not fooling around. You're the one throwing a fuss. I can't take this lying down. Lan Zhan, tell me, why? Why what? Lan Wangji countered. With some difficulty, Wei Wuxian rolled over to lie prone on the ground. Everyone says I'm annoying, but secretly likes me deep down. When it comes to you, why are you always giving me the stink eye? We've been through life and death together, but you aren't even willing to lend me your lap to rest on. And you want to lecture me too? What are you? An old man? I love that Wei Wuxian is also self-aware enough to know that everybody finds him annoying, but like deep down does like him. And the fact that this is also true for Lan Wangji. Your fever is making you delirious, Lan Wangji said quietly. Maybe that was indeed the case, since Wei Wuxian fell asleep a short while later. As he slept, he felt rather comfortable, like he really was pillowed on someone's lap, and like there really was a pleasantly cool hand resting on his forehead. No one admonished him as he happily rolled back and forth to his heart's content. When he rolled off and onto the ground, he could have sworn he felt someone stroke his head before gathering him up to continue resting upon that lap. Not the gay stroke, Lan Zhan. He was gonna touch his face earlier too, but Wei Wuxian woke up first. He's been yearning to touch that face, and he finally got to do it. Ah. Xavian, that's a good point. Wei Wuxian clearly knows that gay people are real because he points out he himself isn't, but can't physically believe that this is even an option for Lan Wangji. He's such a disaster. Right. Once he woke up, he was still lying on the ground, though there was now a pile of leaves cushioning the back of his head, which made it a little more comfortable. I like that. Lan Wangji did put him in his lap, but then didn't want to, address it, so he put them on some leaves. Lan Wangji sat far away from him. He had built a fire, and the light gave his face a warm, gentle, and refined appearance, like beautiful jade. Cucumber salad! Hi, cucumber salad! This is a very interesting part to come in on. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yes, it is. Thank you so much for your donation, cucumber salad. They just killed the evil turtle. They decapitated it. And now Lan Wangji is taking care of Wei Wuxian, who is very dizzy because he is super injured, and Wei Wuxian was busy taking care of Lan Wangji's injuries, and now the roles are reversed. Just a dream, like I thought, Wei Wuxian concluded. Trapped in the underground cave with their escape route severed, the two could only wait for the Zheng clan of Yunmeng to come to their rescue. Oh my god, look, there's a picture of him stroking his face. Oh my god. Lan Wangji. Professional yearner. Oh, he likes him so much. I love that they're able to be so cool and such action bros together and work basically silently together to take down beasts. They're just so on the same page, and then they're so tit for tat, like getting at each other and fighting and stuff, and then they have these really sweet moments that are just so nobody's telling the truth, nobody's expressing any feelings, and they're coming out in such strange ways. It's so good. Steve, thank you so much for your donation, Steve. First stream, and you're reading one of my favorite parts of the novel. Yeah, this part's so good. Ah, the slow burn is burning. Yes, it's a good couple when you just really you like them together, even when nothing super romantic is happening. But then when the romantic stuff happens, it's so good. Another 2 days passed. In those 2 days, Wei Wuxian burned with a low fever, alternating between consciousness and unconsciousness. It was only thanks to Lan Wangji intermittently channeling spiritual power to him that he was able to somehow keep his condition from deteriorating further. Ah, so bored, Wei Wuxian whined. I'm really so bored, Wei Wuxian continued. It's too quiet, Wei Wuxian persisted. Ugh, Wei Wuxian complained louder. I'm hungry, Wei Wuxian announced. Lanjan, get up and make me something to eat, will you? Get us some of that tortoise meat. Never mind, forget it. The meat of a man-eating yaobies must stink. You better stay where you are. Lanjan, why are you like this? So dull. You have your mouth shut and your eyes shut too, and you don't talk to me or look at me. Are you meditating the Buddhist way? Are you a monk? Oh right, your ancestor actually was a monk. I forgot. Quiet, Lan Wangji said. You are still running a fever. Do not speak. Conserve your strength. You finally responded, Wei Wuxian said. How many days have we been waiting? Why hasn't anyone come to our rescue yet? It has not even been a single day, Lan Wangji said. It's like, Lan Wangji, this is what the rest of your life is gonna look like. Wei Wuxian covered his face. Why is this so hard to endure? It must be because I'm with you. If only Zheng Cheng was the one who'd stayed. Trading barbs with him would be more fun than lying around like this with you. Zheng Cheng, where the hell did you go? It's been almost 7 days. Lan Wangji jabbed a branch into the fire with a force that gave off an unexpected burst of sword aura. Embers erupted and danced in the air. Lan Wangji, he's so jealous. He is so jealous and he can't control it. Should you rather be with Zheng Cheng than me? Ugh. Rest, he said frostily. Still facing Lan Wangji, Wei Wuxian curled up like a shrimp again. Are you for real? I just woke up, and you tell me to rest. Are you so against seeing me awake? Withdrawing the branch, Lan Wangji replied with dignity. You are overthinking. Nothing ever gets to him. He's impervious to everything, Wei Wuxian thought. Not at all like he was a few days ago, face as dark as the bottom of a pot, full of temper, biting when he pushed too hard. But that side of Lanjan can only be encountered by luck, not sought out. I'll probably never have the chance to see it again. I'm so bored, Wei Wuxian whined aloud. Lanjan, let's chat. You start. When do you usually retire for rest? Lan Wangji asked. Man, your opening topic is so boring, Wei Wuxian said. It's so dry that I don't feel like answering at all. But I'll answer out of consideration for you. So here goes. I always sleep after show time back at Lotus Pier. I often stay up all night. Such profligacy. A bad habit, Lan Wangji commented. You think everyone is like your family? You think everyone is like your family? Wei Wuxian retorted. You need to rectify it, Lan Wangji said. Wei Wuxian covered his ears. I'm sick. I'm running a fever. Lanar Gaga, can you say something a little more pleasant? Comfort pitiful little me. Lan Wangji kept his mouth sealed and said nothing. Don't know how? Alright, I knew it. Then if you don't know how to talk, can you sing? Will you sing me a song? He was just running his mouth to while away the time, prattling on and on. He never expected Lan Wangji to agree. But to his surprise, after a moment's silence, a soft, gentle voice started to resonate through the spacious cave. Lan Wangji was actually humming. Wei Wuxian closed his eyes and turned over to stretch out his limbs. That sounds nice. Then he asked, What's the name of that song? Lan Wangji seemed to murmur something under his breath. Wei Wuxian opened his eyes. What was that again?
And that's the end of the chapter.
The fact that he actually hummed him a song, the dance that Wangxian have between sincerity and like superfluous, what is that word? Superfluous? How come I can't say that word? The mix between the sincerity and just the joking stuff and the jabs and how like mean they are to each other. But when the real intimacy comes through, it's so good. Superfluous. Yeah, the superfluous stuff that happens between them. Like their little fights, and it just seems like, oh, these two would never even be friends. But when they do have such beautiful connections like this, like moments of like truly being there for each other, and like Wei Wuxian feeling so bad for Lan Wangji and wanting to comfort him no matter what, and then Lan Wangji is now finally returning that to him. It's like, you gotta think Lan Wangji, It's like, just from the surface, you're like, oh, how could he ever like someone like Wei Wuxian? But he does see all the stuff Wei Wuxian does for him. He does, and he's trying to return it in his own way. Like, he grew up in this crazy, weird cult, you know? He's like trying to express his emotions. And he also grew up so traumatized and so sad with everything with his mom. And like, so he's just this stoic little boy. And him humming a song to the boy he loves is just, oh my god, like... Oh my god, it's so... And it's the song he wrote and named it Wangxian. Like, he's so in love with him. Like, it's almost like you gotta reread this scene, even though we know this scene, we just read the scene. Just really imagining that, like, Lan Wangji is so in love with Wei Wuxian already. Like, oh my god, he already wrote a song! Oh... It's so good. That's so good. Orion says they're honestly so sweet together. Oh, my babies. I know. That was really fun, though. Thank you guys for... I can truly not express how freaking lucky I feel to be able to read these books live with a chat that is so much fun. Like, literally every single one of you chiming in and like answering questions or talking to each other or just like being hype. It's like, it is the most fun somebody could ever have streaming and reading. Like, just thank you so much. And sometimes I think about, I have other friends that are creators and they do live streams and they just have such bad experiences with the chat. And I truly am I'm so thankful to have such an incredible group of people that are just so fun and sweet and kind to each other. And like, we don't even have any moderators or anything. Everybody here is just very mature and just loves these books so much. So I'm just so grateful every single day when I think about streaming, because I love streaming so much. I'm just so proud and happy to have a community here that is so safe and so fun and accepting and loving, and it's so awesome. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's such a good mix of people that want to talk about fandom stuff and even if like real life stuff, or even like real life LGBT stuff, you know, we're all here for each other and just we love each other. It's just so nice. I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful. Awesome Cat says, the darker the material, the more wholesome the fan base. That's true. That's funny. Esper Lady says, we love you, Kicker. I love you too, Esper Lady. Thank you so much. When do we think he actually wrote the song? Probably like Yearning and Gusu once Wei Wuxian left. Maybe after the first time he touched his headband. Oh, I'm reading all you guys' comments. You guys are so sweet. I'm just so happy everybody's enjoying and having a good time here. I want everybody to always be able to tune in and know that they're accepted and that I'm here to fucking Fujo out about these Danmei boys with you. Cucumber Salad, who has been a member for 4 months, says, it's always a pleasure to be a part of this fandom and listening to you talk brings a lot of joy. Oh, I'm so glad. Xavian says, it's because you're a great creator and person whose energy fuels the people here. Aw, you guys. Leandra, you're so sweet too. Neko says, I loved when I learned about the arm biting thing. I had to make sure everyone knew. Yeah, that's so awesome. That adds like another layer of like romanticism to it. So good. Yeah, that was really good. Caraway says, I love the headband idea. As soon as he calmed down about it, he's thinking, huh, actually he's kind of a great guy to be soulmates with, huh? Yeah. Just like, imagine like the mixtape that Lan Wangji has. I'm sure so many of the songs are like, and you don't even know that I'm in love with you, and you touched my headband, and you did all these things, and you broke all these rules, and you don't even know. Riku-sun's Wind Silver says, the community you've built is the safest and the most accepting community ever. Lots of people say that it's the community I've built. It's just, you guys have just done this yourselves. Everyone here is just so nice. Seriously. Imagine if Lan Wangji had a lyric book. Oh man. You ought to know. Oh, it's so much fun. Okay. Tomorrow I will have a stream. It will be a slightly shorter stream, so I think we'll probably just get a little bit into the next chapter, which is called Sandu, the Three Poisons. Ooh, it's the first sentence is, he never did catch the name of that song. Ooh. I don't fully remember what happens next. So I'm very, 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 very interested to read what's next. Tomorrow I might be a little bit late. I'm seeing a movie that at 2 and it's like almost 3 hours long. So I might be a little bit late to return to the stream. So maybe we should just say 5:30. Maybe we should just say 5:30. Maybe 5:30 to 6:30 kind of thing. But yeah, I'm excited to come back and read more. And guys, it is storming out. It is pouring rain so loud I can hear it through the closed windows. It's like scary. But anyways, I gotta go and get some dinner. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.